Pro with a lot of Falstad picks, a lot of the Haka picks. This is already a very good map for Stitches again, so we might see some Stitches play on the side of JPL. But let's not forget that this is also a map where we have seen in the past incredibly strong play from Sport Billy on Medivh. Also Illidan is quite strong here, and they have shown there's like both teams have a lot of potential compositions that they can use on this map that cater very well towards the map.
The playing Ducks aren't a fan of the worm but there. And you would think they would be, as Ducks do enjoy a worm for a treat next to their bread.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
Can't believe they're hating so much on Amateur.
I mean, few different diets restrictions here, I would say.
They're trying to get buffed, so they're cutting down on carbs from the worms. They just want protein, that's it. All right, Dignitas. Moving into the first pick, Rega. Thank you, Caldor.
No, it's just like they're going full vegan here.
They're moving in, man.
Yeah. Also, like worms, they wiggle a little bit too much, and I've talked to them lately, and they still said that's not really the texture. Is not, the texture is not that.
Oh, you're still talking about the worms. I'm sorry. I thought we moved on to Rhaegar.
Oh, we can talk about Rhaegar too. I don't know nothing about.
I was like, what's wrong with Rhaegar's texture?
I know nothing about his texture. It's like I don't really eat dog a whole lot, so I don't know.
That's actually a good point.
Like a good wolf steak. I don't know.
Is he soft or is he like Hulk skin?
I honestly don't want to know.
I want to know.
Like, first of all, I want to know what we have. Like, we actually changed pace a little bit. First of all, we're extremely fast when it comes to the picks and bans here. So sorry for that little detour that we took. But we have now the Haka on the side of the Ducks super early. So on this battleground, a bit bigger, they are actually the ones who all of a sudden put the macro play in. Whereas Dignitas is like, we have bans on Uther right away, so Dignitas going into Rhaegar and Genji. But the Ducks, first of all, I want to say that Nubarak has a massive priority for them. Yeah. They play him every game. Second of all, they are the ones who all of a sudden say, team fight, who is this team fight you're speaking of? We go, boom, straight into the Haka and play a bit of macro style. And they have Vala for Chris again. Overall, I like what the draft they have, but it's a bit different of what they've been showing so far.
I think it's always been a case of the playing Ducks when it comes to warrior play. They seem to have one warrior they really want to have and enjoy. It happened when they had Chris Explosion in the first season. And now in the second season, they've been playing a lot of Nubarak, even in the first few weeks. So it looks like until you take it away from them, they're going to keep running it. Right Wing will be banned out. Team Dignitas themselves just are not a fan against playing, or not fans of playing against that hero.
I'm also still a bit wondering what exactly we're going to see for the Ducks when it comes to heals. Oriel would work with Vala. You can also play Malfurion. The one thing that I really like about Malfurion is that the way he's used right now oftentimes is very centered around strangling vines as your level 7 talent, so that you're trying to get the kills by locking down, reducing the heal on that target, and then getting your kills in. So that's something that I personally enjoy quite a bit. And the Ducks are trying to get some of that aggression that they are usually showing out of the game, making sure that Illidan is not going to become a problem for them.
Taking away some tools from Zelia as well, taking away his Dahaka, taking away the Illidan. I don't think Zelia is a person that you can ban out, but there are some heroes that he excels at very well when he's playing in tandem here with Dignitas, and Illidan and Dahaka are definitely at the top of the list for that.
Yeah, I'm right now looking at this, and Falstad again being played by Mena. We could still see Zelia, for example, on Arthur's here, and then a second tank for JPL. But overall, with that setup right now, I'm wondering how my biggest question is, what heal are we going to see for the playing Ducks, since a lot of what we've so far seen in the previous games has been banned out.
Trying to think, racking my brain, is there any major healer?
I mean, you still have a few available. Oriel, Malfurion would be two that really stand out a little bit. I would assume that, I mean, you can also go in any kind of double support setup. You still have Tacita, for example, around that you could throw in if you want to play double support. But that's more also the question. Is it going to be some kind of double support composition around this, or are they just going to add another damage dealer in with a single support?
Well, I was wondering if there's any like major supports that Wolf Joe naturally gravitates toward. And normally he plays the reserved type of style. He either has a Uther, he has Malfurion. Seen him play on the Ariel a lot too. Haven't seen him much on like an aggressive Karazim or even like a Lucio. So I'm thinking Malfurion probably going to be the choice, especially as you mentioned if they want to go into the Solo Warrior. There's Tyrande first though, and Karazim.
So they go into a bit of a double support again with Tyrande providing the extra utility through the Suns and then adding Karazim on top of that. Didn't really expect Karazim to be taken here, but he offers a lot of mobility for the team and also a bit of chase potential. So especially after 16, the damage output that he has puts incredible pressure on Falstad in particular. So that works out. And you still have the panic button with the palm, unless of course you feel forced to go into more damage with the 7-sided. But yeah, Arthas, I mean, we talked about Zelia. Arthas was one of the picks that is very obvious for him. So Arthas Meridian, very heavy front line for them now against the Dehaka and Ubera composition.
I like it. I mean, this is a comp that I look at, and it seems like it would appeal to what the Playing Ducks can pull off as a team. And then you look at Dignitas, it really kind of sums up this entire series for me on both traps. First off, on the left side, you have aggressive tendencies that are available for the Ducks. And on the right side, you have Team Dignitas, who has done very well at reacting and team fighting and controlling the battleground. And they both do that based on their compositions.
Yeah, especially when we talk about Karazim, one of the things that he really offers is also single target damage. And when you play with a Tirana composition, I think this is something that they're trying to extend a little bit, that they're just saying, okay, once we coordinate that properly, we can really push that damage in. So I'm hyped for this one. No matter how it ends, I'm pretty impressed by the Ducks in particular. Dignitas has now to prove that they are one of the teams that is aiming for BlizzCon right now. But overall, the Ducks already, I mean, chapeau, boys. You guys did well here. So no matter how this ends, I'm impressed.
Well, it's time to find out here. Who will be the victor between the Playing Ducks and Team Dignitas? We're moving into Cursed Hollow. This is the last one of the Best of 5 series.
The last map is Cursed Hollow, and we have to the left side the Playing Ducks with Wolf Joe on Karazim. We see Sport Billy on that second support Tirana once again. Nanda, in old tradition, on an Ubrak, up at that front line. And Chris is on one of his base. He's on Vala with Eternal, this time rocking the global, playing Dehaka.
On the right side, in the red bakery, we'll be playing Rhaegar. Mene on Falstad, Snitch on Genji, Zelia on Arthas, and JPL will be playing Muradin.
So JPL on Muradin, Mene again going for the mage stat build, so he focuses on the Gathering Storm on level 1 so that he can head into the burst damage that you really want. First of all, it's great for wave clear, but also if you're trying to lock down a target and put bursty damage on, it can be really good. 4-man push up for tower to the top lane, and so far that actually works out well. Eternal was trying to anchor it, 5 heroes even committing to it. Dehaka will use the opportunity to move down to the bot lane, and someone else has to take over experience in the middle. Snitch is actually trying to slow that down a little bit so that some experience is lost, but the chances of that happening are pretty much nilch because we already have a little bit of a sneak around move. Yes. And Falstad going top lane.
Smart play, because typically you leave 3 person, or 3 people, 3 persons. Hang on though, Sport Billy in trouble. Does he get out? He does. Normally you leave 3 members in one lane when you have a Vala, but they did take Nande, and they did take Karazim and tried to rotate in the middle, so the experience still does work out as Mene pushed in the lane, and Dehaka did head bottom. So, aggression has begun in the early side, and so far Dignitas seems to be getting the favored portion of it.
You think?
Yeah, I think they've been doing decent on the aggression top.
I mean, the Ducks just killed the tower for free.
Oh, totally, yeah, but I feel like in the top lane, they're starting to answer back pretty well, especially with the pressure by Tyrande.
Yep, gets the kill in. But yeah, so if you talk about like just the hero 1-1s and how the matchup worked out so far, then yeah, I would agree. I mean, the kill, of course, underlines that once again. But overall, I like the start there with the quick tower burst. Ducks actually trying to utilize their global by simply moving on lane as 5. But it's now the opponent who is really putting on the pressure with rotations, and that's something that Ducks haven't really done. Not really a lot of rotating happening on their part.
That Stormbolt Muradin coming in there for Dignitas. Playing Ducks starting to chill out a little bit here. You look at the mini-map, they're trying to figure out how they want to handle their lanes, throwing Karazim in the middle, Tirana coming back to the top, but it's all about those Giants. The Vala will go ahead and work on the Giants on the left side, and Dignitas will work on the right.
I mean, one of the things that really works, at least with that last move that we had there, I like that the Sport Billy is adjusting his build, and I want to talk about this quickly. Luna Blaze on level 1 is more or less the talent that we are seeing from most people right now, most players. And he already had a couple of stacks. When he died, he also got a double hit in, so that was pretty important. You want to make sure that you hit the 20, which is the ultimate goal on the quest talent, so that you have an increased range on the Lunar Flare. Before that, you can reduce mana cost. The quest damage is going to be increased a little bit. So all of this really matters. But now, as we have, again, the fight starting over the first tribute, we have also Celestial Attunement, and that is fantastic, since it's basically a little bit of a mini cleanse that you have on level 4.
Playing Ducks for setting up a trap here on the top right on the tribute. Dignitas having the game sense, was aware that something was going on. They back up just in time before the full CC comes out from the Ducks to set up for the Nubrek into the Lunar Flare, and they're able to hold on. Now, they do have to deal with the Giants, but the tribute is still yet to be collected.
There's a lot of interrupts that the Ducks have, especially around Toronto, of course, so that is pretty fantastic. And she is soaking in the mid lane because they always know they can throw that owl up top. So that really, really helps. Genji had now to rotate into the mid lane to soak the experience, and that allows the 4-man commitment up here to the top where JPL nearly falls. The tribute has also been taken, but the Ducks definitely pushing Dignitas back. The big problem for them is that at the bot lane, that camp just got so much value.
Still an incredible read there, being able to move in on JPL. So the tribute first going over to the Ducks. These Giants getting some decent value, though, as they open up the tribute and get damage on the fort. So Dignitas got to be happy about that, and they've been able to get a slight experience lead. But Ducks are hoping to answer back well as they move in and break down the well here on the top right.
Yeah, the well is down, and that is, of course, already big of a win. Snitch, on the other hand, needs to be a bit cautious, right? The arrow actually follows him quite a bit as he starts to jump out. Was, of course, attempting to take vision and therefore map control away from the opponent. But in the meantime, Dignitas is using that space that was created to simply go for a night camp. So that is going to push in through the mid lane and should coincident with a tribute soon to be announced. So oftentimes teams are using that to get a little bit of a head start when it comes to the second tribute, as we see right now.
Oh, they're coming in for the big engage. They move in for JPL. Xaylia moving in here as well, but the Stormbolt not connecting. Sport Billy able to survive, but Nande at the same time takes a wrath, gets hit with a hammering and dies.
I was actually impressive that they got Nanda there. I could have sworn that that was absolutely fine for Nubrek and he could go out, get out of this. This is Dignitas, just simply, okay, one interrupt, but that's not going to be enough, and they're not committing to anything. This is one of the important, and again, he just hits these stuns. He's really working towards that quest, 7 stacks for it already, whereas the bot lane pressure from the Haka has been increased a bit, just to help him, of course, make sure that his team is not completely getting out of XP, but they are quite a bit behind already. Not quite a level, but it's getting close.
No, it's starting to hurt. You're starting to really see Dignitas is finding a way to pull ahead slightly over their opponents, helping out with that false set in the top lane, pushing into the turrets as well. Toronto's a little bit late to the rotation. That full level definitely hurting here. Now Dignitas is in a spot where if they think they cannot move in on the next tribute, they don't have to. They can give it away, work on 10 instead, and then force a boss play. They're in a great spot for the early game, and Ducks need to find a way to answer back.
One of the things that the Ducks have going for themselves is that they have a lot of quest talents that they're working around right now. On Tyrande, on the Haka, and especially, of course, on Vala's damage with the level 4 talent. But once those are completed, that is going to give them a bit of a burst. But until then, they have to be, of course, extremely careful about the level 10. And this is even more so true at that bot lane right now. So this is just too much. Like, losing a hero here, your opponent gets 10, and then it's just simply capitalizing on the 10 ability. So 2 kills already, can take the fort if they want. None the most likely going to die here. What's
up with Snitch and popping off on Curse Hollow? Coming in here, getting the big kill there on Vala.
I mean, this one was made easy.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. But I do wonder why playing Ducks didn't back up fast enough on the bottom right side. Like, a Nubrek was running across the map being chased by 3 people, and yet they still got caught.
That's exactly the question, because that first kill that we saw, that gave level 10 to Dignitas, and all that Dignitas had to do was capitalize on it. They immediately popped the Dragon Blade for Genji, and they said, you know what guys, you don't have your ults yet, we do, you're dead. Didn't get the memo yet, but you actually are. And then he just slices and dices away, chases after Nuburaga as well, and now they get the kills. And this is really where the Ducks kind of screwed up. As you said, they needed to rotate back faster. Now they're behind. It's 0-5 in kills and they're a level behind. But we have level 10 abilities now.
Yep.
So this is really the moment when you're playing for the Ducks, when you're a Duck fan, this is the moment where they have to start and make a bit of a stand, because the next tribute also spells Curse.
Yep, they need big boy plays now, and Nande taking some damage here. Here comes a Rain of Vengeance. JPL on the right side. Wolf Joe comes in for the auto attacks. Cocoon will be utilized. Drag disconnect on Rhaegar, but good Mighty Gust for Mene.
Isolation also being used, and JPL goes down. Rhaegar was isolated. Nande might still fall, and he does. It is a trade, but Snitch is also low. Gets healed. They're still fighting here, and so far Eternal is looking like he might fall too, and he does. It is a double kill, a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Dignitas. And of course the tribute spawns perfectly timed for them, so if they get this one, this is going to be a curse.
It is, and it looks like playing Ducks aren't going to make any plays towards stopping that. Manate flies to the top lane. Bala and Karazim are actually on their way to maybe intercept that or even start the boss. Oh wow, they're going to start the boss.
Double channel here, by the way, to make sure that a Tyrande interrupt would not delay it for too long. We even had a quick sidestep after the initial channel to make sure that that's not the case. The sneak at the boss, I actually like that. It's a risky play, but at this point you have to make risky plays.
You need these kind of risks, and when you have a Hungering Arrow build Vala and you do it on every single map, people don't know it's coming.
Exactly. You have a build that already helps you to race those down super fast, and of course it is definitely a risk to take, and you're sacrificing some infrastructure in the mid lane in the process, but you have to take a few risks at this point, and this is why I really like what they just did. If not for the build on Vala and for them having Tyrande and everyone in this mix as well, so that they can race down these bosses, it would have been a bad choice, but as is, I really like it.
Oh, have it engage on JPL. Zelia steps forward to help out with the assist and damage. Is going to move forward and jump on top of Sport Billy. And here comes Snitch with the big strikes.
Yeah, and of course we have the curse still active, so he doesn't even have to be afraid of anything here. And him jumping in with the Dragon Blade just rips 3 heroes apart. Dehaka, Tyrande, and Karazim, all 3 of them fall. He couldn't go for such aggressive plays if there wasn't the curse, but with it, there's just no hesitation on his part.
Manate trying to get that kill, eventually does give up on it as Nande will survive, but back to the middle lane.
Let's keep.
Keep dead. Second one possibly dead here. Nearly 9 minutes and 30 seconds. There it goes.
Yeah, Keep is down, and even if JPL should fall, and I don't think he will, then it would still be a big win. Double Keep, 9 minutes in the game. That is crazy strong. And we're going to see level 16 talents any moment now, which means that the Ducks are not only 4 levels behind, but they will also be 2 talents behind. 10 kills against 1 overall. The Haka moves in. They're desperately trying to get the kill, but the cleanse makes sure that Zelia is able to walk out of this. And Manate just stacks up the hammering even more.
And you may be asking, why didn't Dignitas just turn around and fight that? They had both their tanks low on mana. They had important abilities they would have to use in order to actually fight that. They go ahead and just pull away, get that 16, and keep their 4-level lead. Good disengage there from Team Dignitas, and the Ducks, they're left on cleanup duty. They move straight towards the boss, and they're going to start working on it now. They've got it down to a quarter health, but here comes JPL on Muradin.
And that's a double talent lead now. They get the boss.
The body block!
They get the boss. Can they get out though? Isolation has already been used and they're moving in once again. Here comes Main on the other hand, trying to get the kill against Dehaka, and he will get it eventually. Down he goes. Main by now on 46 stacks on his talent, on his Gathering Storm. Just to put that in perspective, we still don't see Vala completing her level 4 quest. She's at 90 extra damage at this point. 12 stacks on Tyrande. And for Dehaka 6, so no one on the side of the Playing Ducks has yet completed their quest talents.
But them getting the boss does stop them from dealing with a win condition where Dignitas could have started pushing in that bottom lane. So Playing Ducks are hanging in there. They're hurting, but they're hanging. 13 to 16. 3 levels behind. Tribute spawns on the side of Dignitas. If I'm them, I'm not risking that. Pull away. Go to the lanes, go ahead and soak on up. You have Dehaka, you have Karazim in the middle lane, just play safe on that top.
Yeah, right now, I don't know how you come back from this, to be absolutely honest. This is rough. Spotwheel with a good dodge against that Storm Bolt, but overall, 3 level behind, talent behind. At that point, this is rough. So they let the tribute slide, taking the 2 bosses was huge, but I wouldn't even be too worried about that loss in experience if it wasn't for the 2 keeps that have already fallen. That is just insane.
Dignitas pouring it on here. Takes it forward in the top left. Constant scouting coming in from the Ducks so they can make wise movements here to try and soak the experience. They're doing so in the middle lane. But Dignitas, they have such a lead here. I wouldn't mind them keeping the pressure up. And they're going to do so. They head to the top lane, start working on the turret here. JPL even tanking the turret shots. Just got to be careful not to get caught out, and they should be fine.
Yeah, the poke is just continuing to push them back a little bit. There's another tribute spawning. This is, of course, again, one of these moments where the Ducks can just simply say, hey, guys, let the tribute be. It's only the second one for Team Dignitas. Let's fight for the third and don't make any plays until then. So that seems to be what the thought process is. Again, double channel since there's a Tyrande on the other hand, on the other side of the map. So you want to make sure that you can't simply send an owl cross map. So in that case, it was already an important move. Dehaka gets the XP. And is not really burrowing in just yet, soon. But overall, we're pressure on JPL. There's the Cocoon already being used, and the Dehaka is finally with the team. Isolation on Muradin, but the Ancestral still hits, and the Ducks are just trying to somehow survive and keep their keep alive.
The Lunar Flares keep connecting, but they're not enough. You're just so behind. You don't have the actual damage output to keep up with your opponents, especially the healings coming out from Bakery. Ancestor healing, the cleanse, important enough. They're hoping to chase here, try and find their opponents when they're low on heroic abilities, but Dignitas just escapes right away, and there's the third tribute to the bottom left.
That's the one that you have to fight over. A lot of the cooldowns on the side of the Ducks are going to be ready by then, since most of their cooldowns are much lower than what you see for Dignitas, but we still have the Dragon Blade available, and now Tyrande is even split from the team a little bit. Can join up now, but this is the important one, and if you lose out here, if you lose this team fight, even you have to take it. You're a level behind, and a talent behind, 2 levels behind, but you have to take this fight, and if you lose it, then it's more or less lights out.
They're dancing, trying to keep it with the poke. Hungry Arrow keeps coming out. Twilight, or I'm sorry, the Tyrande trying to keep up with the engages. Will she land any important Lunar Flares? They've been trying to burst down the Murden, but I don't think it's enough here, as Bakery just keeps an eye on JBL. He's always there to help him out with that Ancestor healing. Now, it won't be here for 25 seconds, but still, the cleanse has been enough.
If they can play around the Ancestral, that would be fantastic. Dignitas is happy to just delay this a little bit longer.
Yeah.
If they hit their Ancestral or have the cooldown ready, that would be the best case scenario. And right now it looks like the Ducks are going to give them that opportunity. An attempt by JPL to get a lockdown, doesn't get that yet. And they move in once again. Lunar Flare hits, 17 stacks at this point on the quest talent, so 3 more for the final duration. But the channel on Mena, and this is going to be a curse.
And it is. Mena's in the back right corner. It looks like there is going to be no Al available to stop Mena, and there it is. Dragon Blade coming out. Big Mighty Guts clumping everybody up. Silence does hit with the isolation. Eternal gets to drag on Genji, but he turns around. He gets a kill.
The Haka is down, and this is going to be a cleanup job. And Uberag is falling, and so does Vala. It's a triple kill. Mena flies behind them, already on 54 stacks. Good damage output by him, and the 5-man wipe is going to end this game. Catapults already on the core. 16 kills against 1, a 4-level lead for Team Dignitas as they move in to claim 2 map wins in a row and win the entire best of 5 series. Team Dignitas takes down the Playing Ducks with a 3-2.
Playing Ducks putting up a couple of good games, great fight overall, but Dignitas game number 5 showing the dominance we expected to see from them the entire series here. So Dig getting the victory with a 3-2, but it was one that they definitely had to take a second and take a breather for to get ready for game 5. Yeah,
they definitely had to work for the victory here, way more than they expected, I would say. And while it is unfortunate for the Ducks that they don't get the match win, I would say 2 maps against Dignitas is still something where you say, yeah, solid, we can live with that.
You've done good.
I think at this point they're probably a bit disappointed that they didn't get the match win, considering that they had the lead.
Yeah.
But still, this is solid this is much better for the Ducks than it is for Dignitas. But for Dignitas, it's probably a huge relief that